Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 101. We are at the beginning of week 2 of 6 before the end of the year. Yay. I told you we were going to start getting a few like kind of random lessons thrown in, and today is a great example of that. We're going to talk about a business concept that's called percent markups. That's an R. Doesn't really look like one, does it? Percent markups. Now, the biggest thing you have to do to understand this lesson is you have to put your head in the game that we are the owners. You own a store, okay? And so as we're doing these calculations, they're for you as the retailer of the store. Now, we own the kind of stores where we don't make the stuff. We just buy it from other people who are the manufacturers, and we have them ship it to our store. We get it out, we put it on display, and then we sell it, okay? So we're not the manufacturers. We buy it from someone else who actually makes it. And if we were in class, I would ask you what you wanted your store to be. A great example of the kind of store we're talking about is Zumiez. Zumiez sells, I don't think there is a Zumiez brand in anything. I should ask. One of my former students works at Zumiez Corporate. But they sell mostly other branded stuff, right? They sell Vans. They sell a lot of snowboarding gear. Dakine they always sold a lot of, right? They're buying stuff from other companies and selling it. So when they sell, because we own Zumiez now, the selling price that we set for our store is equal to the purchase price, what we had to, when we buy a pair of sneakers from Vans to sell in our store, we have to purchase it, right, for a certain price. And then we have to add what's called a markup. That's our profit. That's covering our expenses. That's covering our payroll. This is the extra money that we charge to have that coat in the store ready for you to buy. Okay? So this becomes the formula that we'll use for these problems. This makes it sound way harder than it is. These are easy. You'll like these problems. All right. Example 101.1. The selling price was $48. All right, let's just write it down. We know how to do this, right? If the markup was 20% of the purchase price, what was the purchase price? What was the markup? Okay, this is where the trick comes in. Markup can be a percentage of the purchase price, or it can be a percentage of the selling price. We can deal with it either way, and it's not that hard. You'll see we're just going to set up a little equation here and solve it. It's not a big deal. But we just have to be careful to how this is worded. This one time it says the markup is 20% of purchase price. So I wrote that down, so I will set it up the right way, right? So there's our equation. And we can simplify this as SP equals PP plus MU. Okay, make sure you know what those letters stand for. But that's what it is, obviously. Okay, so our selling price, we're going to just plug in 48 equals the purchase price. We don't know that, so we'll just put PP. And the markup is 20% of the PP. So we write plus 0.2 PP. 20% of the purchase price, I wrote it like that. Easy, right? This is not hard. 20% of the purchase price, there it is. Now, this I can imagine a 1 in front of, right? Because anytime you have a variable, you could put a coefficient of 1 if you want. And that's helpful in this case because I'm going to do 48 equals. Now I'm going to add the 2. 1.2 PP. By the way, once I start plugging in, I stop thinking about the logic of all this and the business and all of that. I don't think about that. I'm just thinking about the numbers. Just like when we do chemistry problems, I'm not thinking about the chemistry of it. I'm not getting caught up in that. I'm just thinking about the numbers. And that's what I'm doing here. And now we solve for PP, which means that the purchase price of this item was $40. 48 divided by 0.12, right? $40. And now we can easily calculate the markup because that's the other thing we're supposed to find. Selling price, 48. Purchase price, 40. The difference is 8, right? 48 and 40. So the markup has to be $8. We can also get that because we know that the markup is 20% of the purchase price. So 40 times 0.2 equals 8. That's another way to get it. Yay. So we buy the North Face jacket for $40. We tack on an extra 8 to cover salaries, lighting, whatever else we want to cover. And that's how we get the selling price. Example, there's 3 problems in this lesson. 3 exemples. 3 problems. Wouldn't that make your homework so much better? The purchase price of the item, $1,800. I wonder what it is. If the markup was 40% of the selling price, aha, so this time markup equals 40% of selling price. What was the selling price? Okay. So we just have to be careful with how we set this up, but here we go. Selling price, we don't know that. Equals the purchase price, $1,800, plus the markup, and the markup is 40%, 0.4, of the selling price. So just like before, we can easily translate this relationship into the equation. Again, I'm going to put a 1 there to remind me. This time we have to swim it, right? Last time they were the 2 variables were together. The 2, variables. Now I'm going to subtract 0.4 SP. Something in me badly wants to make that a 1.0, so I'm going to do it. That cancels, and we get 0.6 SP equals 1,800. Divide by 0.6, and we get that the selling price equals $3,000. Okay, does John ask us? He doesn't ask us to find the markup, but we can find it, can't we? The markup is the difference between the purchase price and the selling price. So 1,800, 3,000, this would be 1,200, right? So we can get the markup by subtraction. We can also get it by multiplication. 40% of the selling price, take the selling price and multiply it by 0.4. Got it. Yay. Do you feel like these are easy? I hope you do. You just have to put yourself in the mind that you own Zoomies. That guy lives in Edmonds. Do you know that? My friend Tommy Bourne. You might know, let's see, who do I have here? Jackson goes to Edmonds Heights. I don't know if Caleb ever has, but you might know Marilyn Bourne, who is one of the WSLP ladies. She's been around Edmonds Heights forever. They were our homeschooling besties when we were in that season of life. And it's Marilyn's son, Tommy, who works for Zoomies now and comes to mind in that example and was a former student of mine. Okay, the sports car retailed for a number. Here's what you need to know. The word retailed means selling price. Okay, it's what we sell it for to our retail customers in our retail shop. The selling price, the car retailed for $10,368. That's an oddly specific price. Can you imagine any new car being sold for that amount of money? That wouldn't happen these days. What was the purchase price if the car had been marked up 8% of which one? The purchase price. Okay? And we're trying to find the purchase price. Beautiful. Okay, so what's our formula again? SP equals PP plus MU. All right, selling price we know. I'm just filling in these buckets, right? 10,368 equals the purchase price plus 8%, be careful, 0.08 purchase price. Beautiful. They're on the same side this time. I'll put a 1 there. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't need that. 10,368 equals, it's going to be what, 0.92. Oh, no, I'm subtracting and I should be adding 1.08 PP divided by 1.08. And spoilers, I'm just going to tell you that the answer, the purchase price equals $9,600. And the markup, we can just subtract 10,630, no, I didn't say it right. 10,368 minus that equals $768. Right? The easiest way to find the markup is just to subtract. It should work if you multiply. If you multiplied 0.08 times the purchase price, but that sounds like too much work for me. I'm going to trust John. We did it the other times. Yay! Guess what? One more lesson down. So we're in week 2 of 6. Rejoice and be glad. I'm done with you now. Goodbye.